Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Plant Powered Runner live stream. I hope all of you are doing well. And yeah, I changed the time. Yep, I know it happens. Today, I had to change the time because I had to go to work. And, you get these last minute requests that come in, and there's not much I can do. We need to go see a property, and I need to drop what I'm doing, and I need to run. So that's what's happening. That's why I'm a little bit early. So if you're wondering why you're seeing me at 1:30 or wherever you are in the world, that's the reason. Work calls, and I got to run. But I wanted to make sure that I hopped on here because I know a lot of you really like tuning in on a Sunday and kind of having like a wrap up, like how the week went and whatnot. So what I would like is if you guys have any questions for me, please comment. I will get to your comments. I will certainly do so. And I'm going to give you like a little bit of a rundown what kind of is being kind of going on this week and where things are moving towards what's going on in the next little bit. Because, as you all know, or maybe you don't know, but my knee has been acting up, and I still haven't been in to see my physiotherapist because, again, everything's been booked. And with the COVID-19, it's kind of creating a little bit of a challenge to get in. Now, that being said, I do have an appointment next week. I think it's on Thursday. So I'm pretty excited about getting in and getting that looked after because I just don't want it to continue. I think I pretty much know what it is. We all know Dr. Google, right? We all do it to see what's going on. But I am going in to see a physiotherapist to double check that that's what's happening. So, so how are things with you guys? What is shaking? What is going on? I'll tell you what's going on here. It is flipping cold. It feels like minus 21 Celsius or minus 6 Fahrenheit. It's crazy. It's crazy cold. However, I find fascinating is it seems like the colder it gets, the sunnier it becomes. And I don't know why that is, but it seems like every time the sun comes out, it just gets cold. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. So going out for a walk is definitely a different experience as opposed to going out for a run. I don't know if any of you guys saw the video this morning that dropped. Dropped at 7:30, but that was a crazy adventure that I was kind of on. And overcoming fear is one of these things that I am looking at in terms of my Maffetone training. So I'm going to continue to do my Maffetone training as much as I possibly can by walking. But while I'm doing that, I'm actually also going to see if I can deal with the fears that I have, right? And try to pick a new fear each week and just kind of push through. And this was a video that I did and going through that. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's all about, walking on ice, a lake. And if you guys don't know, I actually fell through the ice when I was a kid. I was up at a place called Dorset in Northern Ontario. It's like a little pioneer camp area. And I was skiing, cross-country skiing. And it started to get slushy and sloppy. And next thing you know, boom, down I went. And it was a flippin' scary feeling. So I've always had this fear of falling through the ice. And it was one of those things I just wanted to overcome. And the opportunity presented itself. And it was crazy. I don't know about you guys, but comment, let me know kind of some of the fears that you've gone through and what you've had to do to overcome them. It would be super cool to know what those were, right? Because we all have them. We all struggle with different things in life, and whether it's a fear or it's an obstacle or it's something, like what would it be? Like what would it be, and how would you overcome it? The other thing that I've been thinking about this week is what other days and times would work to add another live stream. Now, I'm going to continue to do the Sundays as long as I possibly can, right? Because as we go further into spring, it gets a little challenging because my work schedule is going to get really ramped up. So I was looking at trying to figure out what other days and times would work if I wanted to add a second one on. And I don't really know. Now I'm going to mute you guys for a second because I got to sneeze. Okay, that's the fun thing. I can mute. Sorry, I had to sneeze really badly, and I didn't want to do that on camera because I don't think you need to hear me sneeze. But yeah, if you can let me know what other days work, what other times, like not only the day, but like, and let me know where you are. So when you say, noon would be great. Well, where noon are you? Like, what country are you in? What time zone are you in? Because that will help me as well to figure out if I can add in another one. Like, if I add another one in during the week, would it be during the day? Would it be in the evening? Let me know how that would work and where you guys are from. So going back to dealing with fear and some of the things that you can overdo to overcome it, that's what I want to know, right? That's what I want. I shared with you what I've gone through. And I guess another fear that I always had is fear of judgment, right? Fear of what people think of me and what they say about me. I've had that as being a real issue as well growing up. And ever since, my principal called me stupid and my teachers called me stupid, I had to deal with that, right? So that's one of the challenges that I've had to overcome. And going through my 50 miler, going for that long, crazy like run that I did, it taught me a little bit to go through that process and try to break down those barriers, right? So let me know in the comments below if that kind of share something about you guys, what you've been going through. So let's see, we got some people on here. Oh, hey, John, how are you, man? Motivation Theory. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, how is your plant-based diet working out for you? I'd love to know. So T-Man took a month off running for runner's knee, just less fortunate. Good luck. Wow, yeah, people, we all have these challenges, and I'm not the only one. Fred, what's shaking, man? Good to see you here. Fred is a loyal viewer here. He's been around for quite a while. Nice to see you here. He's got a very important question for me. Okay, well, we'll get to that. We'll see what he says. Hey, Julie, how are you? Good to see you here. I know I'm a little bit earlier, guys. I apologize. Again, it's work related. I gotta run, so I had to kind of push it up a little bit so I could get the live stream in today. So, could you explain with a demonstration exactly where a lady should wear the heart rate? Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta talk about it. Okay, so if any of you, I don't know if you've seen my video on Thursday's video where I talked about the polar heart rate strap syncing with my watch is charging, by the way, with my Coros watch. I was filming it exactly where I am right now, and it's very awkward. So I put the chest strap. Hold on a second. Let me. So I put hold on a second. Let me get rid of this. Okay, Fred, I got to figure out how to remove this banner thing here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so let me go back to comments here. And where are we? Okay, so I put my strap on right below my chest, right here. So I was kind of sideways. I said, "This is where you put the chest. This is where you put your chest strap." And then I had that awkward moment of saying, "And it's for guys." It's for guys because I didn't want to. It was I didn't know what to say. You know, females, they do the same thing, right? They put the chest up here as well. But in the moment, I was fumbling for words and whatever. And it's kind of like, you know, when you're painting the floor in a room, like just say the basement floor, right? Concrete floor, and you're painting the floor, and then you paint yourself into the corner, and you go, "How did this happen?" That was my "How did this happen" moment. That's what Fred's talking about. That was in Thursday's video. It was it's kind of at the beginning. Jamie says, from a massage therapist, massage the place on the leg also can help. I like your challenge from the last video. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've been really kind of working that spot. And if you guys saw the video today, you'll know what's been going on with rolling my legs. Oh my gosh, that hurt. I'm going to tell you, that hurt. And rolling pins, man. Rolling pins. I mean, I foam roll, but rolling pins. Oh my gosh. My daughter really helped me on that one. So, where are we here, Julie? Fred, the same place as the bra strap. There you go, right? That's exactly it. That's where it goes. Exposure therapy is the best way to face fear. Yeah, absolutely. Just make it happen, right? It's crazy. Okay, all you guys, yes. that was an embarrassing moment. And Fred's the only one that commented on it. I don't know if everyone else was like, I'm not going to call Dave out on it, but Fred called me out on it. And it was such an awkward moment. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And that's why I left it in. I left it in because, you know, I thought it may make a couple of you guys laugh, right? So I try to be funny and, you know, the things I do. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Moo math and science. Very cool. What you know, I checked out your site. It's pretty cool from a math and science standpoint. Very cool. Hey, Dave, I enjoy your videos. I'm about your age, coach, cross-country coach, ultras, and have a math and science YouTube channel. Yes, and I like it. It's very cool. I think I subscribed to it. I hope I did because I went there the other day. So Janie says, sorry, David, I didn't see you hit the right spot. Yes, yeah. Oh, man, that spot, like on the leg, like right. Oh, it was so crazy. Wait for the video this Thursday coming out because you'll see a little bit more of what I've been going through. So I'm kind of working on the final touches on that to make it happen. Perhaps Julie could be on the stream next week and provide a demonstration. Hey, there you go for all the females, right? Julie, if you want to be on the live stream, we can talk about, you know, female standpoint of running and how it differs from for males, right? Anyways, if that's something that you're interested in doing, let me know. If not, I respect your privacy, and that is all good as well. Yes, I'm not calling you out, Julie. It's all good. So yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what's been going through my mind is dealing with a lot of these crazy situations. I don't know about you guys, but when I walk, it gets so flippin' cold. Like I am cold to the bone out there. And I find that because I've lost a lot of the weight that I used to carry, I have to dress even warmer. And I didn't realize how much, you know, a pound or 2 pounds or 3 or 4 or 5 pounds can actually add in terms of keeping you warm. I never really thought about that until I lost a lot of my weight. I was like, man, that's cold. So, yeah, I mean, the other day I went out to shovel the snow, okay, because we got a crazy dump of snow the last 2 days. And the wind, it was like whiteout conditions yesterday. It was hard to see. And the problem is when that wind blows, like the snow literally becomes like the snowbank that's like solid. And you literally have to chop at it so you can actually shovel it off. And then when the snowplow comes by at the bottom of the driveway, and it's like it goes, you need to like, go out immediately and start shoveling it, because if you don't, it literally freezes into like a solid chunk and you have to hack away at it. And if you don't hack away at it and you try to drive over it, you end up with this crazy big bump and it just stays there all year and it's hard to shovel. So anyways, that's kind of weather-wise what I've been dealing with. But the last couple of days, earlier on in the week, it was nicer and kind of, as you saw in the video, it was the weather was a little bit better, but it's still cold. But certainly walking has been helpful on the knee. I haven't run, right? I've been doing this 10,000 steps. And I did the 10,000 steps because I wanted to see how far that was, because I never really paid attention. Like, you go out for a run, I never really pay attention to how many steps I'm running. But when I'm walking, that's a different type of metric that I thought, oh, well, I'll pay attention to walking and how many steps. And it's kind of interesting to see how far that is. And when I look at it, I believe I'm about 9 kilometers. 9 kilometers works out to about 10,000 steps for me. That's what it turned out to be. And I didn't record every one of them with my watch. I just kind of forgot about it and on a number of them, because I'm not running. I'm not really paying attention to that. But 10,000 steps worked out to be like 9 kilometers, which is kind of interesting. And then it got me into thinking, wow, I wonder, at the end of the week, if I did that every single day, and I didn't do it every day. There was a day that I just needed to relax the knee. So I did more foam rolling and more stretching and that kind of thing, and more massage, and just working my way through that kind of pain and everything else that I was going through. But I looked at my 50 miler and to see how many steps that was, because apparently this app has been recording all my steps for months and months. I just didn't know. And it worked out, it was over 100,000 steps. It worked out that my 50 miler. So that's something else, right? So it's a little crazy. Where are we here? We've done that one. Oh, this is one right here. Mumu Math and Science. Thanks. I'm retiring from teaching this year, and at 60, I will have a little more time to train. As an older runner, I appreciate running slower, but maybe more often. Yeah, running slower, man, I tell you, if somebody told me, 5 years ago that, Dave, you're going to be running slow to get faster, I would have said, you're absolutely crazy. You're going to be Looney Tunes. There's no way. But here I am, right? Here I am, and here are all you guys, right? And we're in this experiment of one, trying to figure out what works for us and all the challenges that we face. And so it's kind of interesting at the end of the day as to what works and what works for some people, what doesn't work for other people, and everybody comes to this running world from a different point in their life, right? Some are older, some are younger, some are overweight, some are slim and slender, some are middle ground, some are track runners and marathon runners. So everyone's at a different point. And I always think, right, like, what would that be? What would that one thing be that somebody could say to me, hey, Dave, what would you tell me to do to, be able to recover faster, right? Like, what would you be your number one thing? And I started to think about this because somebody did ask me this. Someone did send me an email and ask me about recovery. So I guess in a way I would look at it and say, well, first off, how long have you been a runner for? How often do you run? How many hours a week are you running? And what do you do for recovery? And what's your diet like? What's your sleeping like? What's your stress like? I'd ask so many flipping questions, and then somehow come up with an answer that works best for that person. But we're all different, right? We're all different, and I know what works for me. And one of the biggest things for me is the food that I put in my body, right? It's the healthy foods that I consume, right? And if I have a day off, which apparently I have a few more days off in the last week that I've had in a long time, but that's okay. I'm not afraid of losing fitness. I'm not afraid of having to restart my training again. I'm not afraid of any of that. Because I've been there, I've done it. I know what it takes to kind of kickstart and come back. But for somebody who's just starting out running, that's got to be hard, right? Because they're so afraid of what's going to happen if they stop in the middle of their training. They may think that they have to run more or they have to make up that time. And it's like, no, you don't. And sometimes I wish I could kind of go back to my younger self, or back 5 years, and say, hey, Dave, chill out, relax, go at this a little slower, change, your routine and what you're doing, and maybe you won't get injured. But we all have to learn the hard way, right? We all have to learn whatever works for us. And so when I think about that, I would love to know, again, what are some of the things that you've had to overcome, whether it's fear or whether it's a challenge or whether it's something you were unsure of. What is it? What are some of those things that have triggered in your head? Oh man, if only I could overcome this, I could get to this point. And that's how I think, right? Yesterday I was talking with a gentleman in Texas, Santos. He's a subscriber here on the channel, and I was being interviewed for his Yogi Runs and channel, and we were talking about being mindful, like being in the moment of when we run, and looking at like trying to get that runner's high. Right now, my version of the runner's high is as follows, right? And this is something that I've always been trying to get back to. Have you ever had it when you're running and you literally zone out, like you don't even remember running for a kilometer or two? All of a sudden you kind of come out of it and go, whoa, wow, where did that time go, right? I've had it where I've lost time and I felt like I was having an outer body running experience, right? Where all of a sudden I don't feel like I'm running. There's no pain. There's no feet hitting the ground. I don't even feel my breath. I literally feel like I'm just floating through the air. And then all of a sudden you like, boom, you kind of come out of it and you're like, wow, like where did the time go? And it's like, could have been 10, 20 or minutes later or whatever. And all of a sudden you're like all the way down this other stretch of the trail or the road or whatever. I've had that happen twice. And I've always been trying to chase it. Like it's like waking up from a dream that you didn't want to end. You want to get back into the dream. That's what those two experiences were like for me. And so one of them happened at the very, very first time I started to run. I hit one of those. And then it was a few years later where it hit again. But I've been trying to get back to it again and again and again. And it seems like this is this very elusive thing, right? And anyways, it's been crazy when I think about it. But I always like to be able to get back into those moments, right? Into that headspace, because I find that when I go there, I can achieve so much more, like in my head. Like I just feel so good. And when I finish, I feel like I want to keep going, right? It's exciting. Looks like my cat wants out. Hey, Shirley, come here. Come here. Come here. You guys want to see my cat? I'll show you my cat. Hold on. Oh, here you go, buddy. Oh, there you go. You can say hi to everybody. Hey, hey, hey. No. Anyways, that's my cat. We ended up, about a year and a half ago, we ended up having this cat that came back from the barn at where my wife used to ride her horse. And anyways, we took the mother in, and next thing you know, there was babies coming out. There was kittens. And anyways, we kept two of them. So we found a home for one of them, but then this one just kind of grew on us, and we just decided to keep both. So yes, I've got lots of cats. Lots of cats. Janie says, on top of the things I need to overcome, it's getting my brain to a point where it says you can do this instead of you can't do this. Yeah. Who can relate to that, right? Who can relate to always having to have this doubt in your head and things that you do? And we have this like negative self-talk that goes on. Man, it can derail you so fast. It can take you from here all the way down to here, like within a matter of minutes, right? Or even seconds in that case. It's like I remember running one of my races, and it was a 10K that I was doing, and as I was running it, I literally was in my head going, I have to stop, and then I literally stopped in the middle of the race, and I look back and I go, why did I stop? Why did that happen? And I allowed my brain to shut me down, and I wasn't able to overcome that, right? I wasn't able to go somewhere in my head to say, wait a minute, no, you're better than this. You don't need to stop, right? You're not cramping. You're not, sure, it's painful and you're going really fast, but I can overcome that, right? And it can stop us all, right? If we don't have the mechanisms to actually go ahead and take it from that negative and turn it into the positive, right? It's a big thing for everybody. Julie's always been scared of water. I wouldn't even put my face under the shower. No way. 2015, I signed up for 3 triathlons, so I had to learn how to swim with my face in the water. Very cool, right? So sometimes to face those fears, it's a matter of literally just getting out and doing it. Like putting yourself in a position where it's kind of hard to have an out, right? Because if you've spent money, like if you sign up for something and you spend the money to do it, what's the ramifications if you don't do it? You're going to lose your money and you're not going to have that experience. You're not going to do the run. You're not going to do the swim. So there's something there that can help you get there. So it's like putting a goal. Like it's like telling your best buddy, hey, I'm going to run this marathon with you. And then all of a sudden you freak out and go, I can't run a marathon. But what happens is your brain then starts to think, well, how can I, right? So if you do the switch, like, how can I do it instead of how, like, I can't do it. If you find a way of doing it, you'll achieve it, right? And if you know why you're doing it, you'll achieve it as well. Because for me, I'm not a big racer. Like I haven't run in a lot of races, and this COVID flipping thing has been shutting the world down. I haven't been able to do anything, just like the rest of you guys, and everyone's been getting sick, and it's been terrible and awful. And welcome to what the future holds. I don't know. But I've been trying to think of things that I can do to keep myself motivated, to keep myself moving forward, to keep myself just to show up and be accountable. And I could have allowed this injury, this runner's knee, to stop me, but I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm just going to keep pushing forward and doing the things that I can do and deal with it. Right? I mean, it's like all of us as runners, we all get to deal with what it is that the cards that we're dealt with. Right? You can either fold and walk away, or you can continue playing, and it's up to us on how we're going to do that. Right? And so we all find our motivation in some ways. Right? So Julie was saying, I took some lessons and learned to love swimming. I swam in the lakes, most of Victoria Dock in London. It was an amazing experience. So there you go. Like that's a prime example. Julie took that negative, found a way to overcome it by signing up for lessons, and then actually did the triathlons, and she had an amazing experience. And that is so true in so many ways, right? Finding a way through, right? If you're hiking in the jungle and you get lost and you find, you don't know where the path goes, you don't keep walking, you stop, right? You stop, and then you have to think what that next step is, whether it's survival or whatever. But we just have to evaluate at that moment, where are we? What are we going to do? And how am I going to push through this to make it to the other side, right? To stay alive, right? Whatever it is. I mean, we do what it is that we got to do. Dan, how's it going, buddy? Hey, good to see that you are running again, my friend. Yeah, it's injuries suck, and it's never any fun. And I'm glad you're back at it, man. That's flipping awesome. Keep at it, man. Cuddles, hey everyone, how are you? Well, we are doing great. Yes, I started a little bit earlier, and okay, so here, from time to time, I do a post on the community tab, and the reason I do a post on the community tab is to let everybody know if there's a change of something happening. I also post it out in my the Plant Powered Runner, like runners group, right? In Facebook, I'll post it there as well. So just to let everybody know what's going on, because I really don't have any other way to communicate with you guys because I don't have your email to let you know if there's a change. So I'll post any change in on the community tab on my YouTube channel, or I'll make the change and post it into our Facebook group. And if you're not part of the group, just click below on any of my videos, and you can click on the Facebook Plant Power Runner group. Okay, and that's where I'll post kind of updates. Or in other cases, if you're a little bit more private, you can go to our Discord servers, which is down below as well. There's a number of us that are in there. We ask questions and things like that, and that can be another place that I can post these as well. So just to let you know, okay, that is cool. KK, how are you? Good to see you here. I'm glad that things went well with your watch. You now have the Polar H10 synced with your Coros pace, and that's flipping awesome. So now I'd love to know, like, how are you experiencing that? Like, how's it working for you? My fear. So Moo Math says my fear would have to. Oh, sorry. My fear would have to have a surgery like hip surgery and not be able to run well again. Yeah, that would suck. That would be scary, right? That would be scary. And if that was true, and if that's what happened, I guess, if that happened to me, I'd have to reevaluate where I am in life and decide what that next step is and whether I start, cycling. Because a lot of people have asked me about cycling, right? If I could incorporate that into my workout, and not being able to run again would kind of scare me. But again, if I'm scared of the unknown, right? If I'm scared of the unknown, then I'm always kind of living in the future. And for me, living in the future is a recipe for disaster because I'm too much in my head, and I can't think too much about the past because, again, that's too much in my head, and what's ever happened has happened. So for me, I have to work at the present, in the moment, and just enjoy the moment that I have right now because I can't get it back, right? And if I'm always living the future, it's like it hasn't happened yet. So then I start worrying about the things that are going to happen but may not happen. That's just too much energy for me. So I've done my best to kind of narrow it down and say, I can only think of what's going on right now. Yes, I can plan. Yes, I can plan for the future, and I can do that. I just don't spend my time worrying about it, right? So when I plan for a race, or if I plan to do something, I tend to spend it in the moment, write my things down that I need to do, right? But again, I'm in the moment right now. This is what I need to do. But I'm setting myself up for success, so that way when tomorrow does come, I've got my plan for what needs to happen. So that's just some of the things that I've done. But yeah, it can be rough. KK, great. Just finished my 2-hour, 10-minute run, and it was fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. So the technology is working for you. How do you find the strap? How do you find the H10 working for you? Do you find it responsive enough so you can kind of keep your heart rate low? Darren says, hello. Can you please tell me approximately how much I need to change my heart rate to run a half full marathon 50K? That's a loaded question. Let me just have a drink of coffee first. So what I did for my half marathon, when I ran, I was training at MAF for a period of time. I think I was only training for like a month when I did the switch over in the race mode. And I didn't know what I was going to run, like pace-wise or heart rate-wise. I had no idea. But I knew that I wanted to complete it in 2 hours. So for me, I had to look at my training and saying, look, I've only been training for a month with heart rate training. How is this even going to translate into a good time running a half marathon? And I was thinking about that through the first probably 3 kilometers and 4 kilometers of my run. And then I reached a point where I'm like, I'm not running based on heart rate. I'm actually racing now. So I didn't even pay attention. And I literally just went ahead and I just raced. And that was in my marathon. Now, if you're asking me what you would do to get to be able to run those longer distances, I'm going to tell you, take 180 minus your age. That would be your maximum heart rate that you would run. Okay, that's in your Maffetone training, right? Now, if you're on any medications, then you have to deduct 10 beats, right? If you are older, you would add 10 beats, right? And it's tricky, right? It's tricky. You have to really pay attention to it. There's a lot of things that affect your heart rate, and it's not just running, right? It's life, it's sleep, it's stress, it's, time of day that you run. There's all those other factors: heat, humidity, cold temperatures, all that kind of stuff, right? So for me, when I ran my 50 miler, I ran it based on heart rate, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to get to the finish line strong, and I would actually have a better success of completing it. So I basically ran a little bit below my MAF heart rate, and I think the average at the end of the day worked out to like 136 beats a minute for my whole 80 kilometers. That was one of the things that I was able to do. So, and it can get you further, right? It can get you further to get you to that position. Do you want out, bud? I'm gonna let my cat out. Want out? There you go. Okay, apparently the cat wanted out. All right, so KK says, Julie says, well done, KK. Right on. That's awesome. Or run, walk, or should I say, it doesn't matter whether you run or whether you walk or whether you mix it up. It really doesn't matter. What matters is you showed up for you and you got out there and made it happen. That's what's the important thing, right? You made it happen. And that's kudos to you to do that. So very cool. KK, thanks. Julie, that running guy. Chris says, sorry, late to the party. Dinner? Yeah, no, absolutely, guys. Look, I get it. I mean, a lot of you guys are in the UK and it's dinner time. I started a little bit earlier only because I needed to for me, for work. So yeah, I get it. No need for apologies, guys. While running on MAF heart rate, do you recommend or do if heart rate jumps from target? I just slow down. I just walk, right? So if I'm seeing that my heart rate is starting to rise, I just slow it down. I literally just slow it down and I start to walk. And I'll bring it down to like about 128 beats a minute, maybe sometimes 130, and then I'll start running again. And I just go through that cycle. But again, if I can keep it consistent, right, I'll know if there's a hill coming up, right? I know when that's happening. I know that I need to dial back. So I kind of shorten my cadence down, but I keep the steps per minute up. And sometimes I just got to back off and I just got to walk, right? And walking is perfectly fine. Walking will get you there. Again, your heart rate your body doesn't know the difference, right? When it comes to running or walking, when it relates to heart rate, it just knows that it's having to go harder. So that's one of the things you can do. Yes, my cat did want out. So yes, I have to let him out. Stephen had some success with a 3-mile MAF test, 33 minutes in August 20. And yesterday was 30 minutes, not doing too much MAF running, but using it more and more. Good for you, man. Look, you got to fit it into your schedule, whatever it is that you want, whether you want to train 80% at MAF and 20% anaerobic, it's cool, right? You can do that. Right? Whether you want to just spend the time base build for 6 months and only do that only, then go ahead and do that. You have to decide what you want to do in your life, in your training schedule, right? Because again, we're all coming at this at different angles. But the one thing I'm going to say is, if you're a beginner runner, build your base. build your base. Don't do 80-20. Just build your base first and then work your way up to those harder kind of runs, right? That would be my only thing I'd say to somebody who is just kind of coming into the sport, who may be overweight. Just go slow. Like, there's no need to smash out a PB when you're just starting off, right? Like, start to build up your base. It's going to take a while, and certainly do it, right? So KK says, absolutely, I did 5 minutes in zone 1, below 93, and an hour and 43 in zone 2. That's 93 to 108, and 22 in zone 3, 108 to 116, all in math or below. Excellent. High five, fist bump, love it. See, that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to strain. It's a process. It takes time, right? It takes time to build it up, right? Great. So we'll walk off until heart rate drops. Yeah. So just go ahead. If you're getting close, what I tend to do is I set my watch so it alerts me about probably 4 beats before I actually get to my max. So at 134, it starts to alert me. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to dial it back. I'm gonna walk for a bit, whether it's uphill or whatever it is. And then I watch it starts to drop. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm ready to go. And I start running again. So I go through that cycle. It can be very frustrating at the beginning. My gosh, so frustrating at the beginning. But it gets easier and easier and easier as time goes on, because you don't have to do that slow shuffle. You don't have to do the walk, all that kind of stuff, right? So, I mean, there's things that you can do, and walking is perfectly great, right? Greetings from the west coast of Canada. Oh, that's awesome. Whereabouts on the west coast? Are you like Vancouver, or are you in Kamloops or Nanaimo? Those are all places in Canada, if you're not too sure. But yeah, I mean, that's just some of the things that I think about in terms of going through this. So now I'm thinking for me, I'm thinking that I need to keep my fingers crossed that next week goes well with my physiotherapist. It's going to hurt, I'm sure, because she does a lot of what's known as active release. And so I don't know if anyone knows what active release is, but they basically, like, they'll kind of hold your muscle in a particular spot, like that trigger point. And then they want you to start like stretching, or bending the muscle, or bending your leg, or, actively do things, right? Not too sure how all that's going to work. All I do know is my wife and my daughter both go and see this lady, and she does wonders for them. And my daughter, she's a dancer, right? So we all know that she definitely puts out the effort, and muscles need to recover. And this is some of the things that they're able to do that helps her. So anyway, so yeah, that's one of the things. Vancouver, BC, very cool, man. Love Vancouver. I was in Vancouver, man, when was it? God, it's been years now. And I was out there for work before I got into real estate. And I'll tell you, it's flipping beautiful. Absolutely love it. The thing for me, however, and I don't know if I could live out there full time, there's a lot of rainy, cloudy days. I don't know if I could do it, because, man, I need sunshine, and this is bad enough. Like, I'm looking outside and it's cloudy, it's kind of windy and snowy, and it's kind of awful. And I mean, I don't mind the snow once it's here. It's the transition month that I just don't like. I've said it many times. The transition months suck. I just don't like that at all. But yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things. So what's going on, guys? And where you all are, like, are you happy with how your training is going? Are you struggling with how it's going? Are you in a bad headspace with COVID that's happening? Because I know that's different all around the world. Everyone's, doing what they can. And we're still in lockdown in Canada. I think they're going to be talking about that on Monday as to, what's gonna happen. And to be quite honest, I hope they extend it a little bit longer, because our numbers are dropping. Keep our fingers crossed that everything will kind of work its way through, right? And I hope things are going okay over in the UK, because I know it's been crazy for you guys over there as well. And I think Ireland and Scotland and Germany and France and South Africa, and I mean the US. I know they're having major challenges, wherever you guys are. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's been rough, and there's been a number of you guys who have been on here who have had COVID in the past, and you're recovering from it, and you're trying to come back. So it's good to see that you got it. You didn't have it really bad, and you're back to running, which is really cool. It's nice to see that, right? It's nice to know that it's yeah. Anyways, yes, we get a lot of liquid sunshine for sure. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. After running in the snow or wet weather, what is your routine with your trainers? Cleaning routine? Literally, I come home and I go bang bang, and I put them angled up on a wall above a vent, not on the vent, but next to the vent. I take the insoles out and I just let them dry. Sometimes I'll actually put them like where my foot goes in the shoe. Sometimes I'll put that over top of the vent, so it can kind of dry them out. But I tend to just let it dry naturally, and I'll rotate into a different shoe the following day. That's one of the things that I do, because I've got a number of pairs of shoes, and so I do it that way, because I'm not going to put them through the washing machine or anything like that. And if they're muddy, I don't really care. I literally just bang them like on my trail shoes. I don't clean them. I don't do anything. I mean, when I run in my trail shoes, I'm literally running through the river and things like that, because I've got multiple river crossings on where I do my trail run. And so I don't bother cleaning them. They get it clean when I run through the water, right? So that's one of the things that I do. But yeah, anyways, it's been cool. So trying to think what else we got, guys. I've got a little bit more time to chat, which is not a problem. So I got another 15 minutes before I got to run. So yeah, whatever we want to chat about, I'm game. What coffee? Okay, that's a question I've had. Is what coffee do you guys like, or do you even drink coffee? Right? I was never a big coffee guy until a couple of years ago, and I just really enjoyed having a cup of coffee while I'm in the car driving. Now I tend to have decaf, and I drink Tim Hortons. That's our brand that we have here. I buy it in the grocery store. There's also a couple of other brands that I had. It's an Italian brand. It's not decaf, but it's Lavenza or Lavazia or Lavazza or something like that. I can't remember the name. Anyways, it's really, really good. I love that brand. There's another one I've had. I've tried the McDonald's one. I never really went out to go buy it. I was going to buy Nabob, but I guess I didn't have my glasses on, and it looked like the same package, and they were side by side. And I went and I grabbed it. And anyways, I took it home, and my wife's like, "Why did you buy McDonald's coffee?" I'm like, I bought Nabob. And I look, I'm like, oh, I bought McDonald's coffee. I haven't had any McDonald's products in like, how many years? Probably 17 years. Yeah, I haven't eaten there in 17 years. Ever since I read the book, Fast Food Nation, I haven't eaten there. But that's like the only thing I ever bought in the last, I don't know how many years. But yeah, that's the coffees that I've been drinking lately. Some people have asked me what kind of recovery drinks I have. And recovery drinks, like after a race, what do I have? Like my beverage of choice or whatever. My only beverage, like I don't really drink anymore. I used to drink, lots of beer when I was younger and stuff like that, but I don't really do that anymore. But if I do, it's more of a local brand. It's called Hockley Valley Brew Company, and I'll have that. They're literally like 20 minutes from my door. Like that's how close they are. And I know the brewmaster. He's a client of mine and a good friend. So yeah, their brands are flipping awesome. So that is my it's my coffee. That's my beer. Okay, here's a question for you guys. If you don't drink coffee, what do you guys, what's your guilty pleasure for food? Like, what is that? What is that one thing that's like, oh, I just love this so much. I never want to give it up, because we all have something, right? We all have a food that we love, right? So comment, let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys like, right? Because I just stuffed mine full of newspaper to dry out. Yep. Yeah, you can certainly put that in your shoes and that will help. Thanks, Dave and Julie. So the key is to have a couple of pairs of trainers. Yes. Yeah, rotate. Yeah, just rotate them. It's good to be able to give your shoes a break for a day, especially if you're running every day. You may want to have a number of different pairs just to rotate through, right? All right, now we're talking. Now we're talking. KK's Pizza. That's a guilty pleasure. Awesome. Okay, more guys, more. Fill me in. I want to know. That is flipping awesome. Chocolate and French fries. Yes. Oh, chocolate is so good. Oh, there's these chocolate chips that I have. It's called So Good. They're vegan, but they're so good. And they're like little chocolate chips, and you just put them in your hand, you put them in your mouth, and you're like, I could just eat this all day. Like, it's just so good. Lockdown is tough. I feel like all I do is work, run, sleep, and repeat. Julie, I'm with you. I feel it as well. It feels like it's Groundhog Day. Like, it never ends. It's like, I don't mind like the run part. Like, the run part's awesome, but it literally feels like you're on a hamster wheel. Like your day really doesn't change. Like, everything is the same continuously all the time, and you're like, is it ever going to be different? Right? That part. That part for me, when I don't leave the house, it's so hard because my job, like, I'm out all the time normally. Like, I have a different thing going on every day. Like, I'm showing, $1 million mansions one day, and then I'm showing, flats the next day, or I'm showing country properties another day, acreage farms, stuff like that, or it's in the city, right? Every day is a different type of thing. Or I go on a listing appointment and we're getting the house ready to put it up on sale. So then I put on my interior decorating hat, and I go through that process. And so it's every day is different for me. But if I'm stuck in the house, man, it's rough. It's hard psychologically, because I am an extrovert and I want to be out with people, right? But for work wise, that's one of the saving graces for me with my work, at least, is it's different. Yeah, I got to dress up as a doctor. I wear gloves. I've got my mask. I keep my distance, and we do hand sanitize, and we stay apart, right? Like, that's just what we do. But that's what I've had to kind of endure, just like the rest of us, right? Either we're staying home, or we have to go out and do what it is we got to do. Any English pudding that involves custard. Even though I live in the US now, I still love British desserts. Oh, custard. Devon. Was it Devon custard? Or is that Devon cream? Oh, I can't remember. I've got some custard downstairs that I got as a gift from somebody, but I don't eat it, only because it's not vegan and it's got milk in it, and certain things just cause my stomach to kind of bloat. But oh my gosh, totally love English puddings and stuff like that. Like, that's so good. Apple crumble. Yes. Oh, here we go. Jam roly poly. Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me here. Rhubarb crumble. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Bart, David, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. I am feeling great. Knee is feeling better. It's not 100%. I'm gonna say it's like 65%. I'm able to get out and walk. So yeah, absolutely. It's coming along, man. Custard powder, birds. It's vegan. If I make it with soy milk. Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at that, because I have a lot of British stores around me. So I'll have to go see if they carry it, because that would be awesome to actually have. That's really cool. So yeah, guilty pleasure. I tend to have a sweet tooth. And there's a vegan bakery, probably about an hour and a bit away from me. And whenever I'm down in that area, I'll go to the bakery and I'll get a number of their cupcakes or brownies or anything like that. But the brownies are so good. It's kind of got a little bit of a hard, kind of flaky crust on the outside, but then just right below that, it's all gooey inside. And it's like, oh, it's so good. I had that when I finished my first marathon. And if you haven't seen my first marathon, it's if you went onto the YouTube channel and then clicked on the little, like, click on videos and then go like that little filter button on the right hand side that's got a couple of lines, and go look at oldest videos, you can see it's called like the Scotiabank Toronto Waterfront Marathon. And that was my first one. And in that, I kind of documented the process, and I actually had that brownie at the end of it as my treat. It was cool. I'll actually, you know what? I'll actually post it in the comments in the link below once the video is uploaded. So if you haven't seen it, anyways, I look back on some of these videos and go, wow, I can't believe I did that. but yeah. So anyways, I get off track. This chat is making me hungry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty hungry myself, but I haven't eaten yet. It's about 2:26 in the afternoon. I haven't eaten yet. That's okay. I will grab something. It's already ready to go. It's broccoli and cauliflower and hummus. Yeah, that's it. And I'll probably take some almonds with me, right? But yeah, so that's cool. So guys, like, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back next week for another Q&A on Sunday. I'm really enjoying these. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these as well. I hope you are, because I quite enjoy them. And then, like I said, Thursday, there'll be another video that's going to drop, and that'll be a funny one, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm just going to continue on. I'll keep you posted as to what's happening with my knee. And I will also add some pictures and photos in our Facebook group. Again, if you're not in the group, just click below and I'll add you in to the Facebook group. And yeah, I will certainly do that. But before I go, let me answer Bart's question here. I did my first long run of 32 kilometers today. First one after my knee injury 3 months ago. So don't give up. It will be fine real soon. Thanks, Bart. Appreciate that. That's awesome. 32K. Oh, I can't wait to get back to those distances. It's going to be so much flipping fun. Thanks for sharing that, Bart. Appreciate it. And Julie says, Bart, thank you. Well done, Bart. Thanks, David. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. All right, guys, until next Sunday or until Thursday, have a good one, everyone. And like I always say, get out and run. See you guys next week. Bye for now.